Hello and welcome to Inside Politics. My name is Anastasiya Lavrina. June 1st marked the official opening of Baku Energy Week 2026, a major three-day international event running through June 3rd. This gathering combines the 31st Caspian Oil and Gas Exhibition, the 14th Clean Energy Exhibition, and the 31st Baku Energy Forum, bringing together hundreds of global energy companies, state officials, and industry experts to the capital. The event arrives at a critical juncture for both regional and global energy markets. In his official opening address, President Ilham Aliyev outlined the country's dual-track energy strategy, marking 30 years of historical milestones like the Shah Deniz Agreement, while emphasizing the ongoing shift toward a sustainable, low-carbon development model. The president noted that the transition to green energy has evolved beyond environmental concerns to become a core factor in economic competitiveness, pointing to new regional green energy initiatives and expanded transport corridors. The week's agenda reflects a significant intersection of international business and diplomacy, featuring high-level corporate negotiations alongside major ministerial meetings. To analyze the strategic, economic and political implications of these discussions, we are joined in a studio by Kostis Geropoulos, co-founder and director of Energy, Climate Policy and Security at NE Global Media. Well, welcome to the studio.
Anastasiya, good to be back.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. So, Kostis, welcome to Baku. And let me start with a question about Baku Energy Week, which has grown far beyond a traditional industry gathering. Today, it brings together government officials, global corporations, investors, and experts at a time of profound transformation in world energy. So what makes this year's edition particularly important?
Well, first of all, with geopolitics, and it was mentioned quite, in the beginning of the opening ceremony, and also at the Baku Energy Forum, where I was there recently, all the ministers pointed out the issue is the energy security, and not just energy security right now, but the future of energy security. As the energy minister said, now we have to take into consideration that market instability is kind of the norm, and now we have to plan for the future. So, traditionally the Baku Energy Week and the Baku Energy Forum brings together, as you mentioned, leaders. So it's not just a conference; there are agreements signed. It's also the behind the doors and the side meetings are equally, if not more important than the actual plenary session. So we've already seen that the region is well represented. They have the energy ministers of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. There's also from Egypt and other countries in Northern Africa, even Bangladesh, and so the whole issue is now with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, with the war in Ukraine going on now for years.
And how it's affected the global energy market. Absolutely. In his opening remarks, the President Ilham Aliyev also reflected on more than 3 decades of Azerbaijan's energy strategy, from landmark oil and gas agreements to the country's growing green energy ambitions and based experience, which the country itself has. How would you assess the evolution of Azerbaijan's energy model?
Azerbaijan has always been a major hydrocarbons producer. We've seen also, it's playing a key role, especially now the South Gas Corridor. I was here a few months ago. Has increased role because we've seen how important it is to have diversification. At the same time, also the green energy projects have been discussed, and in this case, another thing that was actually clarified during this morning is it's not necessarily, it means when we're talking about connections, it's more about electricity. So even just, it doesn't necessarily, could be eventually green electricity, but it's very important to just connect the countries with electricity cables and have the flow of electricity going between Azerbaijan and the Caspian to Europe, but also we've seen the agreement signed between Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Azerbaijan recently as well. So in this case, electrification is very important to discuss, and also to have those countries connected. We know, for example, that also Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan are very, and Uzbekistan have they have water a lot and energy. So there's a lot of hydro energy, and there's the possibility of also producing electricity, and with this water shortages, they have to also allocate resources.
One of the most notable parts of the address by His Excellency President was the focus on the liberated territories and the developments which is taking place, the creation of green energy zones in Karabakh and East Zangezur. How significant is it when the post-conflict reconstruction is directly integrated into a long-term energy and economic strategy?
Yeah, you had the Urban Forum a few weeks
just
ago
recently,
as well.
World Urban Forum.
Yeah. So in this case, it's very important because you kind of start with a clean slate in this case in many ways, because you're constructing new communities, and so you have the possibility to use them to really with the latest technology and innovation, and at the same time energy saving and adapt to the environment, so it's not as intrusive to the environment. So in this case, it's actually a way of the rest of the world learning from Azerbaijan, because now they have the possibility to try new things. It opens up possibilities for the route through the possibility of transport and energy and overall transport through the Trump, whatever you want to call it, the
Zangezur corridor or the trip.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so this is also a very important project, but also, in the whole adaptation of the liberated communities in Karabakh into more of a green energy zone.
Absolutely. So coming back to TRIP or Zangezur corridor, President Trump's message to Baku Energy Week framed energy cooperation as a central pillar of the new U.S.-Azerbaijan Strategic Partnership Charter, and we do know about close cooperation between two countries in the energy sphere since the time when Azerbaijan started actively to invest in the energy policy development 30 years ago. How significant is this development geopolitically? The energy cooperation between two countries, Azerbaijan and the United States, what kind of consequences it may have for the region and for the global energy market?
We've seen that the U.S. has helped us finalize, because it's been going on for a long time, the peace agreement, and finally the whole issue is resolved, right? So this could help very much for the Zangezur corridor, but also the U.S. is looking at the region very much because of the new geopolitical reality, and also with renewables and critical minerals. So the transport through this region is becoming increasingly important. We see the middle corridor, which is very key development, and we've seen all the countries, especially Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, and it cannot happen without Azerbaijan moving forward. As a matter of fact, there is a separate session tomorrow, I think, at the university talking about the middle corridor. So, and there are a lot of ministerial meetings on that topic. And I think the U.S. wants to also to play a key role, and it is a strategic partner of Azerbaijan. It looks at Azerbaijan not only the possibility of cooperation, but also as a country which helps a lot in the stability in the region, and also helps with EU energy security. Mm-hmm. So I think that Trump's message in this case is important, and it will help the development.
Peace, cooperation, comprehensive peace agreement. The countries are working on this now, and we see that Washington is, from its official position, we can understand that Washington is willing to see this agreement to be signed as soon as possible. The upcoming parliamentary elections take place in Armenia on June 7th. If normalization between Azerbaijan and Armenia advances, how transformative could this be economically and energetically for the wider region? Now we understand the full reliance of Armenia on Russian gas, but in case of the agreement to be signed with Azerbaijan, probably it will have its own positive implications for the energy diversification of Armenia.
Yeah, and we saw that Putin statements today. They're trying to, pull Armenia kind of into their control again. But I think it's at this point, it would be very good for Armenia as well, but also for Europe. And it is the fastest route, and it's also going. It seems like there is so much instability around the world. I mean, obviously we've seen what happened with Iran, but also with the tension, the war between Ukraine and Russia, and other geopolitical instability. I think that this actually could be a source of stability in the region, and given that, and also kind of a lesson for the rest of the world, because I think that in this case, moving forward can really help develop both countries, and especially Armenia, which is actually very much reliant on foreign energy right now.
Let me ask also a global question, like what's happening around the Strait of Hormuz, the implication for the global energy market, the oil prices, crude oil prices are still racing. So what is happening today in the global market and energy market, and specifically this Baku Energy Forum, why it may bring some important conclusions and the outcomes which can benefit the global energy market specifically now?
Yeah, we've seen also there's a representation of OPEC as well, countries. I think the countries in the Gulf are very much involved. We've seen that also they have suffered a lot because they cannot export their hydrocarbons. I mean, we've seen what happens with Qatar, but also in terms of there are a lot of countries from the Gulf, especially Mazda are very involved in renewables, and they're also very active in the region. So this forum actually brings all. It's not just everybody together, not just hydrocarbon producers, but green energy, and then they can also discuss the way forward. Definitely, I mean, even if the Strait of Hormuz opens tomorrow, it will take a long time to stabilize the market. First of all, there's the producers have to trust that once this waiting tankers go through, we don't know yet necessarily if there are going to be any more going forward. Also, we've seen that there's damage of infrastructure. Qatar's infrastructure has been damaged to a certain extent, so we don't know how much time it would take to recover.
Absolutely. So, Kostis, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. That's why we have to.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As Baku Energy Week 2026 continues to unfold, the conversations taking place here are about far more than energy supply alone. They reflect a broader transformation where energy security, green transition, regional connectivity, and geopolitical strategy are becoming increasingly interconnected. For Azerbaijan, the forum once again serves as a platform to position itself as a reliable energy partner and also as an emerging player in the future architecture of sustainable development and trans-regional cooperation. My thanks to our guest, Kostis Geropoulos, for joining us with his insights. And thank you for watching Inside Politics. Stay with A News, and I see you next time.